Hello, listeners, and welcome back yet again for another week of the Dual Screens podcast, the world's #1 indie dev interview podcast, probably. That's how the saying goes. I'm flying solo this week because Steve is dying with something. I think it's strep or some other ailment or disease. So while I weep for him, I have awesome company this week. I am joined by Karl Espiritu and Adam Seger, the duo over at MagicShotGames and developers of the most badass name for a game I've heard in a long time, Dire Vengeance, a side-scrolling action platformer with gothic-themed visual designs and high-resolution graphics. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. How's it going?
Hey Andy, pretty good.
Oh, hey.
Good.
Just
Hey,
hanging
Karl.
out.
Just hanging out? Hanging to the left, the right? Which way is it hang out for you?
It depends.
Depends on the day.
It depends on the day. So this game is very, very much. I think it's like if there's like a punch list of things I want to see in a game, I rarely ever think of Metal as Fuck being on the list. But this game, I gotta tell you guys, off the bat, let's leave aside the look, the design. We'll get into that. The soundtrack. Holy God. Like, what demons of hell were conjured into the room to score Dire Vengeance? It's got a pretty kick-ass soundtrack.
Oh, my buddy Who Man made it. Actually, he also titled the game. And yeah, he was in a metal band for a while called Dying Sun. But now he's in a 90s cover band called what's it called again? It was My So-Called Band. They play like Nirvana and Stone Temple Pilots, like all the 90s hits.
Yeah, because the 90s is known for its death metal bands.
Yes, he did like gent and stuff for a while, but now he's doing like grunge.
Oh, I love it. He's a very versatile musician.
Yeah.
Good man. All right, so let's get into it. Adam, who are
Yes.
you? What do you do for this game? Give us like your little intro, your little Tinder profile
Oh man.
bio.
That's tough. That's tough. Okay. Well, I'm the programmer for the game. So I did almost all the programming. Karl did a little bit at the very beginning when we were just getting started. I also handle a lot of the business side of the game. But yeah, mostly just the programming. I was trained as an electrical engineer, and I hated programming, and which may sound a little bit strange,
Right?
but Karl came to me one time and was like, "Hey, you want to make a game?" I was like, "I guess I can give this another shot." And many years later, we had a game.
All right, we're gonna get back to that in a second. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Now, Karl, what's your role? What do you do besides inspiring Adam over here to like leave his boring ass job and pursue, game development like a sane person would do? Leave a high paying job and make games.
Oh, he didn't leave his high paying job.
Oh, you still
I-
do said high paying job.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
I got laid off from my job
Ah.
as an artist,
Mm.
a game artist, and it's probably the fourth time it's happened, but it's part of the job of being a game artist, just
Mhm.
getting laid off all the time. So I decided to take a little break and make a game. And I also hate programming, but I did all the design and art for it. Well, Adam did a little bit of design, about as much programming as I did
So
on the game.
you took a break from getting fired from a bunch of game design places to design a game.
hmm Well,
Mhm.
the thing is, I love making and playing video games. It's my
Mhm.
life. I mean, I'm back into making games again professionally, but yeah, this is I just wanted to make something on my own.
Can you divulge who you used to work for? Was it like, sort of
Oh,
like a contractual, like, okay, project's over, like we're done with you? Or was it
no,
like,
I
were you
actually
like,
worked for Zynga for like
oh,
almost
oh,
5 years.
mhm.
Yeah, and then they had that massive layoff, which is I was a part of.
Yeah.
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 So yeah.
All right. So interesting. I want to kind of circle back to you, Adam, because it sounds like, electrical engineer.
Yeah.
I'm trying to follow like, you know, the path that takes you from there to programming an indie video game. So what is it? Did like Carl get you drunk when hey, you know what? You should totally I hate programming, but you can do it for me and like make this idea I have in my brain.
Well, I mean, Carl has gotten me drunk on multiple occasions, so but not this particular occasion. No, I mean, Carl and I have been playing video games our whole lives, and playing them together our whole lives. And when he got laid off from Zynga, he said, "Adam, I'm ready to make a video game, my own video game, and I want to make it with you. I think that you can handle the programming stuff. You just do that." and I think that I said like a couple times, maybe more than a couple times, like, "Are you sure that you want me? Like, really? Are you really sure that you want me? Like, there's a lot of good programmers out there, and I'm not one of them." And he's like, "No, you'll be perfect." And it turned out that he was probably right, because he and I have very similar aesthetics, and the things that we like are very similar, right? So,
Right.
if he wanted something really bloody, I'm like, "Yeah, let's do that," right? And if
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, you know what, I want to have like some esoteric symbol in the background, can you do that?" He's like, "Oh, that's awesome, yeah, let's do it." And so it really was a natural partnership. And even though I don't love programming, it was much cooler to program a video game and see it start to come together and see things happening, as opposed to the types of programming that I had done in the past, where make a graph appear or something like that.
It's either really flattering or really slick, because I feel like Carl was like, you know what, I know programmers that have worked alongside, at least with Zynga, for 5 years, but I think Adam has like what it takes. I trust him to handle this idea. Or he's like, you know what, I could get Adam to like do it for like peanuts. Be like, come on, it's fun. We can make a game. We'll come to life. It's so wonderful.
You think we got paid?
Yeah, I didn't get paid.
That's a good one.
Do they not pay artists over there at Zynga? Is this like a thing?
We just made as much money as we could off the game, but
yeah,
when we were making it, we weren't getting paid.
Yeah.
So let's get to the game itself, Dire Vengeance. So I'm guessing this is more like a Carl question, because this was in your brain for a bit before you came to Adam. Where did this thing come from? Where did this, like the game itself, its genesis?
Well, actually,
in your head?
we came up with a lot of it together, but it's a lot of the games that me and Adam played it as kids. The main inspirations, I think, would be Ninja Gaiden, and just from the speed of how fast the player runs and the way she moves. Well, actually, initially it was Ninja Gaiden, but then we changed it to feel more like Strider, because she's in the beginning, she couldn't run and slash at the same time.
Yeah.
And then it was a massive change when we added running and slashing. I think we did that in the course of a week or something like that.
Yeah, that was a big change.
Yeah, huge change. Why did we change it? I think someone played the game, right? And they're like, it seems so jerky that you have to stop and slash, even though that's how Ninja Gaiden played.
Yeah, it kind of ruined the flow as you
that person was absolutely right. I think it was someone who was a streamer who played it. And they're like,
interesting.
Yeah, I forgot who it was.
Wow.
It wasn't a streamer, Adam, that was like playing as like
so.
It was like really jerky, like when you played it, and then you have to stop every time to like slash, even though that's how Ninja Gaiden played. And it's like, what if you could run and slash? And we added that in a week, because like, I think this person's right, and they're absolutely right, and it changed the game. And it was a huge improvement. You know how much stuff we had to do to make make it so that she could run and slash. We had to cut her body in half and animate the top and the bottom like separately. And then also she had this armor that appeared on top of her as an overlay, and that also needs to be animated, cut in half and animated as it appeared, like every time you get a power up. Yeah, and we did that over a course of a week, but it was like grueling. But we were like so obsessed with like trying to get that to work that we got it working like really, really quickly. And what was really crazy is it wasn't really that buggy when we finished, which is a miracle. Because we can,
a miracle.
Yeah, we put in anything and it's like something breaks the game. But for some reason, that thing didn't really break anything.
Adam, you just crushed it, didn't you? You just crushed it, dude. You crushed it.
Oh, I crushed it.
Listen, Adam, I have a design doc. I think you're the perfect guy for the job. I have faith in you.
Yeah.
But that's curious. At what point in the development cycle did this whole like streamer like suggestion come through? Was it like, was there a demo? Oh, like an itch.io thing? Like how did they get their hands on it? Like
how far were we? We were like at level 5, right?
We were level 4, I think. Maybe level 5. But we released a
like
demo
beginning of level 5
time ago. Yeah, maybe the beginning of level 4. But we released a demo of one level a long time ago. We had a Kickstarter that failed, but it generated some interest, and we put up a demo with it, which was kind of good and bad, right? It showed people what we were trying to build, but some people also said, well, this game's almost done. And so they're like, why did they,
so what do you want my money for?
Yeah.
Oh, like, marketing, like that's the thing games need, I guess. But no, just release it and call it a day.
And we actually were, I mean, like we had the player and the first couple levels, but we still had to build like all the other levels and all the other bosses and all the other enemies, and like we still had so much that we needed to do, and it was like,
I don't get how you can imagine a game is almost done by a demo. It's like it's a vertical slice. Like here's like the core gameplay loop, what you can expect from the game, and you want to build on this little snippet we're showing you. Oh, it's done.
Exactly.
Like, what do you need 10 grand for? Like, get out of here.
I think it was a pretty long demo. It's like nearly the whole game, right, that we put in there.
Oh well, if you gave the whole game away, like
no. I think for the demo we just kept it to 1 or 2 levels.
All right, I was gonna say,
was it only level 1 and 2? I think we were like arguing at the time, right? To like,
yeah, we were deciding how much to give at the beginning, whether we do like the first 4 levels, which I think we had complete, or whether we just limit it to a little snippet for people. And in the end, I think that we limited it to a little snippet. But there was one guy who was streaming, and he would play development versions of video games. He was a developer himself and give feedback. He had a little channel on Twitch, and he would give feedback to developers. So a bunch of developers would go and watch him play, and then they'd all give feedback to the developers. And so he played our game, and I think that he was the one who suggested, or who said, oh, it's like really weird feeling when I slash and it stops me, right in my tracks. Yeah, and like Karl said, he was right. So
it's funny. I never know like what to expect of a game when I first look at it. And I saw like, 'cause this game's been out for a year prior to it's now like, also congrats on your console release. Like, yeah, you did it.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, and we'll get to that in a second. So I was like, I went to the Steam page. I was like, this game looks so like dope as shit. Like, why are there like so few reviews? And I scrolled down and I saw there was a little quote from like Alpha Beta Gamer, which I love that guy's channel, because he like knows, like that guy curates like quality indie content. And I was like, see, that's it. That's the marker. That's how I know that this game has some sort of magic sauce to it. And it does. And it really does. So on like the console launch, like what was that process like for you guys? What did you learn like from the Steam release, now going into releasing it on, the PlayStations, the Xboxes, the Switch? Like, what was that process like in getting it over from PC?
Well, it was it was different, right? I mean, what the first difference is
It sucked.
It sucked. It did kind of suck actually, but because when you're building the game, you're like, you've got all these cool ideas. You're like, oh, what if this boss does this thing? And oh man, Karl, you added the zombie dangling from a chain and he's crawling. Can't get away. That's rad, right? But when you're just porting it over to another system, you port it over. You just start off by porting it and see how it runs. And you do that and you see that your game runs like crap. And so then it's not fun to sit there and fix all that. Which, to Karl's credit, I made him do a lot of that.
Yeah, it was a pretty painful process.
That's what you get, buddy.
We got rid of a ton of particles. It's mainly the particles that was making it chug. But yeah, and for the most part, you can't really tell that we did anything, but we cleaned up a lot of stuff, ton of stuff.
Yeah, for the Steam version, we didn't really focus that much on the constraints of the system. Most computers are pretty powerful these days, so it wasn't really an issue. But when we put it onto the Switch, all of a sudden things were slowing down quite a bit. So Karl did like a ton of work limiting how many particles there were and all that kind of stuff. But I think painful.
The background of like level 6, it was like 30 layers of stuff, of like massive sprites like rotating upon each other on the PC version. And on the Switch version, it's just a flat screenshot of all those layers, but you really can't tell. It's just that the clouds don't move. It's like the way the layers like rotate upon each other, and the way the blend modes interact, like kind of give it like kind of a shimmer. But then it's a still on the Switch just to get it to work.
Is there a temptation when you're like bringing it over to be like, what we could like, can we change something about it? Can we add X, Y, and Z? Or is it just, let's just bring it over like in the most playable state and like get it up and running and then just get it out to the public?
I would say anything we did on one system we wanted to do on
of course, yeah,
every system. And
but the temptation to be like,
the temptation
there, you've had ideas in a year.
We always want to add things.
We always want to add things. Yeah, we do always want to add things.
What's the feedback been like since you guys released it on console? What's the sort of like consensus from folks, and just comparing how it was launching on Steam compared to now launching on console? Those two sort of like two different.
Well, we instantly like sold more copies on Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. I see that.
Yeah.
But I don't actually read reviews.
I haven't found any reviews of our game. I mean, other than like those.
All right, guys. I'm writing one. I'm doing it.
You're gonna do it?
Metal as fuck by 10 out of 10. I just reviewed your game.
Yes.
The best Strider-Vania I've ever played. Must buy of the year.
Oh man, we're gonna have to put that up. Put that up on the.
I'm gonna put that on my Steam page. I'll do a little. What's the character limit for that? Like the lowest possible, the minimum for a Steam review?
I think it's pretty low. We've got like one curator who did like 3 words or something for our game.
If I type the word FAP over and over, does that count as more than 1 word? Is that how that works on Steam?
Have you seen that one reviewer, Commander Shepard? He's like on every single game on Steam.
Every single game?
Yeah, it says I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite game. That's what he says on every single game. Like in my whole every single game, my Steam library has Commander Shepard. He's like near on the top. And it's like a weird picture of Commander Shepard too. He has like his eyeballs are pointing 2 different directions.
But like, what is that? That's not a review.
I don't know, but I think, do we send him like a free copy? I don't remember.
I don't know if we did. I don't.
Yeah, but I like that guy. He likes every game.
Right. Yeah, I could do that too. I could like any fucking game I play, but I think it's dog shit.
It's literally, I think he tried to do it to every single Steam game because like every game in my library has Commander Shepard in.
I gotta check this guy out.
Yeah.
That guy's like padding the numbers. That ain't right. I can't trust it now. um, Adam, back over to you. I'm kind of curious. Because if I ask Karl, you did like a bang up job, like in the whole programming aspect. What was one of your biggest takeaways, like going from electrical engineer to programming a video game? Like, what was that like for you to cross over into that arena with, all of your knowledge and experience in not making a full-fledged video game? Like, what was that? What was that like?
Yeah, it really taught me that I don't know shit, right? It's true. It was true then. It's pretty much still true now.
And yet you're so fucking happy. Like
Yeah,
you're like I can't
because
get
I've
over
learned a
it.
lot. I've learned. I still don't know shit, but I know a little bit more shit than I did before. No, but it's true. Like when the first boss that we worked on was boss 2, and it's like this huge stone head, and Karl can weigh in on this also, but he made all the assets on it and everything, and it shoots lasers out of its eyes, and a big sword tongue comes out, it opens its mouth, and a big sword tongue flies out. And so when I programmed it, I took all these what were essentially hinges and gears programmatically, and put them on this thing. And I'm like, okay, this gear needs to open the top half of the head, and this one has to open the jaw, and it can only go this far, and all this kind of stuff. And it worked, but it was buggy, and we spent like, I don't know, a couple months probably like ironing out all of the bugs on this thing. And so that was like something that we did very early on, and we got it working, and we're like, oh, thank God, we finally got this thing working. And we talked about it, like several years later, and we're like, if we had to redo that boss, we would do it completely different. We're like, okay, if there's like ever any bug that we see on it, we're gonna rebuild that boss. But for right now, it's working fine. We won't worry about it. And so when we moved it over to the Switch, we played it, and like the first thing that we see is, oh, boss 2 has a bug. and so we rebuilt it. Karl changed it to, rather than having all these gears, he put in all these animations, and I put in all these flags to control everything. And it took us, I think, 2 days, Karl. So
yeah,
the
it took
first
us
time
2
we built
days.
it,
Oh wow.
it was 2 months, and the second time it was 2 days.
No, it was like a series of like pulleys and like pressure. It like you set the amount of like force that the gears would exert on itself, and sometimes the force would like be too much, and the jaw would lock. It was like this crazy Rube Goldberg machine of like colliders and engines in there. And it was like, why don't we just put an animator on it?
Yeah,
that solved everything. Yeah, we did in like 2 days.
When we first started, we were like,
oh my God,
we don't know how to do this.
well, there's no there's no blueprint or manual like how to best optimize game development. It's like, and for like a newcomer, you're thinking what makes the most sense in your head at the time, and you're applying the knowledge and like the logic, like, okay, well, this makes sense in my brain. But then, again, you release the game a year later, it's like, this, why did we spend 2 months on this again when we did it like in 2 days?
So.
Karl, I'm curious. For you, going from working with a big game developer, now working as your own boss, what's that been like? That change of pace?
Oh, it's a massive change because so I worked at Zynga, and basically we were just churning out a bunch of. So at first I worked on Mafia Wars,
Okay.
and I just painted guns and vehicles like every day, all day, every day. And that's all I did. And then I think I moved to Chefville. Well, first, actually, I did like a bunch of like R&D stuff after that. I think we were gonna do like an online version of Minecraft that never like got
Oh,
released.
interesting.
Yeah,
Oh,
but it was
wow.
like gonna be like a social game where like
Right.
you get like a plot of land and then like you go visit your friend's plot of land and then like as
Like
the more you
Stardew Valley, but Minecraft?
yeah, with like blocks and stuff. But
Holy
yeah, that
shit.
I think so. There's a bunch of stuff that like we worked on, and then
Mhm.
that there's also a Stardew Valley thing that I also worked on that never. I did R&D for a while in between, and then afterwards I worked on a game called Chefville, and then I just painted food every day, all day, every day.
Man, you're like, but you have like, you're a legit talented artist. As a side
Oh,
note, and
thanks.
they got you painting guns and chefs. That's
Yeah, and
like,
now I work on slot machines. That's my current gig. So I'm doing like slot symbols and stuff like that. A lot of
but yeah,
Egyptian stuff.
talk more about like
Oh
again,
yeah,
like
but
now
now
you're like,
now I'm doing whatever I
it's
want.
your
Like
baby
wow,
now.
I want to make a game that looks like Super Ghouls and Ghosts and Castlevania, but play like
Mm,
Ninja Gaiden.
mm,
And well now it's Strider. And then but then the power up system, like we and I think like I'm not like a designer. I'm not like by profession, but I designed it just based on my intuition.
mm.
Yeah, and I just put all the like the gameplay elements of things I liked. It was a mashup of like all the things I liked, you know, in the 8-bit and 16-bit eras.
It shows
Like
through.
yeah, the
It
power up
shines.
system
Yeah.
is the Gradius, right?
Hmm.
And the double jump is from Ghouls and Ghosts. And yeah, the gameplay is Ninja Gaiden and Strider, and all the art is Castlevania and Ghouls and Ghosts.
You went from imagine like, oh, now I'm gonna paint swords all day long instead of painting
Yeah,
guns and chefs.
and skulls. We did a lot of skulls and Escher looking stuff.
Yeah, it's I gotta say, like, I lean more towards like actual like pixelated sprites for this kind of a format, but like your game was looks, it looks good.
Oh, thank you.
Like it's like legit talent is like oozing. And it's really hard to imagine two dudes made a game that looks this good, plays this good, sounds this good. It's a real triumph. And like you guys really crushed it. Like I
Oh, thank
really
you.
I
Oh,
can't
thanks.
say that enough. Like it's a fun little game.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah. So what is next? I mean, this thing is now out in the world. Is this like something that's gonna be, is it happening again? Is there like a next project you guys have been talking about, or is it like what's the vibe over at Magic Shot Games?
Yeah, we still need to go get together and like do a meeting of what we're gonna do next. We have a bunch of ideas like
Mhm.
um in the works. We're thinking about doing like a point and click adventure game
Oh,
possibly,
nice.
or like a 3D. Well, I'm not sure what 3D game we'd make. We're thinking of like making like a racing game. I don't know. Everything's like up in the air
It's
right
a
now.
lot. It's a lot of genres you just mentioned.
We've
And
been
I
We're
want to do
keeping
a
everything
fighting
open.
game,
yeah.
No, we
RPG.
were thinking of a fighting game. Like, have you
Oh, we
heard
were
of a
thinking
game
of a fighting
called
game.
yeah, have you heard of a game called Tongue of the Fat Man?
I have not heard of a game called
Or
Tongue of
how
the.
about Mondu's Fight Palace?
No.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
we should
well,
look it up.
basically, yeah, it's basically like considered one of the worst fighting games like of all time. It's like
Okay.
terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I think like have you heard of AVGN? I
Of
think he
course, yeah.
I
Of
think he
course.
actually did a review on it of like
Oh, I gotta look
Mondu's
this
Fight
up.
Palace. Yeah, it's terrible. But like
But it's
Adam and I
awesome.
love that game.
Can you
Because
get
like
the
it was
rights? You should get
no,
the
we were
rights.
yes, no, that's exactly what we were thinking. Is like that game is so terrible, we could probably buy the rights for cheap or something. Turns out
Mhm.
like Activision owns it. So I don't know
Mm.
like how cheaply like they would ever let even if they would ever let it go at all, right?
Yeah.
I think we figured out one of the people who worked on it. We were thinking about contacting him and seeing if we could get the rights. But since Activision actually owns that game, I'm not sure if we could get it.
Yeah, that's
But
a
I was
Microsoft question now with that whole acquisition going on.
that's
So
true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
so I don't know how difficult it would be. But I thought it'd be so funny to get like one of the worst games ever, get the rights to it, right? And then make a sequel. Kind of like Shaq Fu.
Yeah.
There was a sequel to Shaq Fu.
There was a sequel to Shaq Fu.
And it was like also terrible.
It was, but
Yeah.
but not intentional.
Yeah.
I think they wanted to make an actual good game.
No, but I wanted to like do it. I actually play a lot of fighting games, so I kind of know how to design a fighting game properly. But that'd be awesome to make a good version of Tongue of the Fat Man.
There's so many bad fighting games out there. Like a lot. Like what was that one? Tattoo Assassins?
Remember I played that. Yeah, I love that
game.
My
God.
Yeah, it's got like 200 like fatalities.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you fart on people and they melt.
You know, see, I love the idea of taking like a shitty IP that flopped immensely when it came out like 4 decades ago and like bringing it back and making it like an actual proper good game. I love that idea. But if you say that you're good at designing fighting games, you get the genre. There's like so many dormant IPs that I think you can go after. Where's Primal Rage at these days?
Dude, actually, I worked with a guy who designed Primal Rage.
Dude, like, what are you doing to me? Making this like Metroidvania game? Get the fuck out of here. Get your ass.
Worked.
Get on the phone.
It was right before. I think Midway made it.
Yeah,
because Midway
used
to. I used to live near. Yeah. So like, I used to live near where Midway used to be before they shuttered their offices, and then I worked for another company. It was called Tag Games, right? It was weird. Okay, this company is super weird because they put video games on your cable box. So if you think about it, cable box is an interface machine that lets you change channels, right? But then it has an interface, so you could put graphics on it. So what Tag Games did was they actually took that interface and put games in it, and then you could play those games. And the way they made money is in between levels, they'd play ads. So they actually had like Tetris. You could play online poker on your cable box, and the remote was the TV remote.
Right. Yeah.
And one of the designers on there designed Primal Rage, and I worked with him. It's crazy. And he was really good at Street Fighter. Like we had a Street Fighter cabinet in the office.
I think it's clear.
Yeah, he was really good.
Why you're put on this earth?
But to make another, I think Primal Rage. They're never gonna sell Primal Rage. The IP for that.
Listen.
And also that was not a flop. That was actually a very good.
I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm saying like there's actual good IPs that had good games that were successful to a great degree when they came out. Again, like in the 90s. Bloody Roar, that's been gone for a million years, you know.
Yeah, like that was also a good game.
No, yeah.
Let's think of some bad games, like really bad.
What was that one game? Oh my god, I think it was. They had the word God in the title. N64.
Oh yeah,
it was like a guy, like a gem in his chest, big green guy. What the fuck was that game called? Something God or God something.
God of War.
Not gotta stop it.
No, War Gods.
War Gods.
Yeah, War Gods. Yeah, that was actually pretty popular in the arcade. It's pretty bad though.
Cardinal Sin on PS1. Did you play that one? Did you?
No. Cardinal Sin. No, I don't think I played that one.
Oh boy. Look that shit up. Adam, go play some fighting games and look into the code. That's the next project because I think that's gonna happen at this point.
Oh, it's with a Y. Oh, yeah, it kind of does look like War Gods. No, I've seen this game too. It kind of looks like that one Star Wars game. That was also pretty bad.
I don't want to go off track here into a whole shitty fighting game conversation, but there's one game that I loved as a kid at the arcade, and I wished it came back. The first time I saw it was when Mortal Kombat 2 came out, and that was like the big game when it came out in the arcades.
Oh, let me guess what it is. Let me guess.
Okay.
It's Time Killers.
You motherfucker!
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Well, you mentioned like Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah.
And it was like a shitty game.
And it was like right there.
Yeah, I love that game. Yes.
That game was dope as hell.
Yes, it was.
Where'd it go?
Well, actually, I played it again recently, and it didn't age well. Like,
Yeah, I know.
I couldn't get. Yeah, it's pretty hard to play now. But I do like the fact that you could like chop off people's
Chop off limbs and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and you could like instantly kill people by like chopping off their heads.
Get ready, Adam.
Time killers. I wonder who owns time killers.
I would say, listen, do a Kickstarter for the rights. Ask them what the price is. I want to buy time killers. All right, cool. We'll start a campaign.
Who made it?
Listen, it happened to River City Ransom. Didn't like some team like get the rights for like
THQ
a
made
one-off.
THQ. That's a tough one.
Just sitting there gathering dust.
Yeah, there's a lot of IP that just sits there. And I mean, when was the last time it made an F-Zero game, right? And everyone's clamoring for one. They just won't make one.
You know it, because Nintendo makes a bajillion dollars selling a port of Mario Kart 8 on the Switch. That's why we won't see little Mario Kart 9. So forget about F-Zero. It ain't gonna come back anytime soon. They have the golden goose in 8 Deluxe.
Yeah, and Smash too.
And Smash, yeah. All right, boys. Wow. Like the time is flying by. I'm like shocked. God damn it. You guys are awesome. I love this.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, all right.
I'm glad I guessed time killers though.
I know. I'm like, there's like a semi soulmate thing happening right now because
I love shitty fighting games, so
yeah, I know. Fuck, I want to play some Thrill Kill later. That was a fun game that never got released. Remember Thrill Kill?
I've heard of it.
And that was like the same engine.
It was never released. It was canceled.
And then they used that engine for the Wu-Tang game, the Wu-Tang fighting game.
I heard the Wu-Tang one was really good.
Yeah, because it used Thrill Kill's awesome engine. And that was a pretty, that game should have been released. It was just too ahead of its time. A dominatrix as a playable character, maybe not the best.
Well, there's Ivy from Soul Calibur.
True. It's also true. But like not in full like Dom gear though, because
Oh yeah, Voldo.
Yeah.
That's Dom.
Yeah. Dominatrixes are timeless.
Yeah.
Well, he's a male. Well, no, he's a masochist.
Right.
Because he like orgasms when you hit him.
Is that like canon?
I mean, have you hit the guy? Have you seen him?
Have you seen him?
Yeah. Have you seen Voldo?
Yeah, no, he's awesome.
I'm
like my favorite character.
I actually went to the what was it, the San Jose Museum of Modern Art, and they had a Dreamcast running there, and they had like a recording of Voldo. They actually did like on Soul Calibur 1, where they had it was in training mode. This was in the Museum of Modern Art. It's crazy.
I love it.
They had this like crazy like choreographed like dance of Voldo just like humping himself in a loop. And it's like 10 minutes long. And I watched the whole thing like several times. It's like, this is brilliant.
I think if we all addressed the Voldo inside all of us, the world would be a much better place.
Yeah, definitely.
I think so.
I already do. Friday night.
Yeah. I mean, you watched the 10-minute video, in an hour loop. So I want to tell you, I think you've accessed it, and now you've gone beyond. You are like your inner Voldo is on the outside. All right. Boys, it is time for rapid fire. And I get to find out more about you. I have a little bit, but this is like we're going deep. We're going deep.
All right.
First question. Adam, if you get a phone call that Karl was arrested for a crime, what did he do?
He exposed himself after playing Dare Poker.
Dare Poker?
Yeah, Dare Poker.
The fuck is Dare Poker?
What?
Oh, it's where the way you raise it by daring someone to do something.
Yeah.
And then like the dares get more extreme. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Do you play this on a regular basis, Karl?
No, I did for a little bit, like maybe like 10 years ago.
We're doing a sidebar. What was the most intense dare you've been asked to do in Dare Poker?
Oh, I had to run down the block in my grandma's underwear. And that's it. Oh, and then
I
That's
can't,
it. I
can't,
like that.
I can't let it
That's
go.
it.
Why were your grandma's underwear readily accessible at the time?
They weren't.
What?
Well,
You just
actually, they
happened to
had.
have a pair of your grandma's undies?
No, she was living with us at the time, and then
Oh,
I just
okay.
took them out of the laundry. Here's a funny thing. So like when we were done with it, right after I lost my bet, we put them back in the laundry. And then she's like, "One of my underwear got stretched out. What happened?"
Well,
We didn't tell her.
like why are they musky?
I don't think she smelled them.
Yeah. Well, you did wash them afterwards, so it's nice of you to do that. Carl, same question. What's Adam being arrested for? What did he do?
Hmm. He was framed. There's no way he would ever
Oh shit.
break
I
the
see
law.
that.
Yeah.
I see that. He's way too wholesome. Either that
Yeah.
or he's like a Kaiser Soze kind of guy. He's like the mastermind.
I'm probably the one framing him. So Adam would never break the law. That's just
Okay, let's go one step further. What did you frame Adam for? What's he taking the fall for?
exposing himself.
Frame someone for doing that.
Running down the street wearing a mask that looks like Adam's face. while in my grandma's underwear, running down the street.
Of course, naturally. um Adam, what kind of ghost would you be? Are you more of, I may know the answer already, but are you more like the Casper variety or like the poltergeist? I want to fuck with people in this house.
I think I'm both, right? Like, I want people to know that I'm there and be happy that I'm still around in some form, right? But then I also want to, it's boring just to be floating around, so
Right.
you still have to scare people, right? Right in the condensation on the mirror. Oh, I'm watching you, whatever it is, right? You still got to spook them a little bit. That's the fun part of being a ghost.
Carl, if you could have one song play when you entered a room, what song would that be?
Probably like the what was it? What was that one game?
Oh, it's a game soundtrack. I love it already.
Probably dang, what was that one game? It was by Square, and it was it had the main protagonists were like 3 kids, and
Kingdom Hearts?
No, it wasn't Kingdom
Okay, I was gonna say 3 kids.
Secret of Mount Mana.
Secret of Mana.
Boss music for Secret of Mana.
Ooh, God, a man with taste. I love it.
Have you heard that song?
Yeah, man, I love that fucking game. That's one of my top 10 like RPGs of all time.
Yeah, but it sounds like super urgent.
Right, it does. But I think any good boss fight music has to have some level of urgency to it. Am I wrong?
No, that's true. No, but I think this one's like really, really like, I don't know.
Like you gotta take a piss urgent.
Exactly.
You're right. Adam, would you rather live next to an active prison that has a lot of break-ins? Or a fairly active volcano?
Oh, definitely a volcano. I think definitely a volcano. I'm down with the active volcano. Usually the lava is relatively slow. Although, if the prison is empty and I can stay in the prison overnight, I'm down with that. That's all good.
Carl, if you are what you eat, what are you?
Salad.
I did not expect the most basic, boring answer from the guy that wore his grandma's panties. Salad. Are you a big salad eater?
I've been eating healthy lately. So.
Yeah.
Oatmeal. Yeah, I have the most boring diet.
Yeah, wasn't that suck? We want to be healthy. It's like my brother when he was like in his huge health kick, all he ate was like grilled chicken, crackers, cottage cheese, and potatoes for like a year. And
I
hated it.
I hate actually I enjoy what I eat now, but it's pretty boring. Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, I hate chicken breast. I like chicken thigh.
Dude.
Yeah.
Breast is too dry for me.
Yeah.
I can't handle it.
That's the worst.
Nothing.
Yeah. Adam, if Carl were a wrestler, what would his name be?
Oh, what would his name be? Oh man, I'm gonna have to think about this. This is tough. Okay.
All right, we'll give you a second. And Carl, the same
Yeah.
question. You can both dwell on that for a minute, and I'll ask you another question in the meantime. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, that sound good? All right.
Yeah.
That's how we'll close it.
Well, I know what Adam's
Oh
wrestling.
shit. There you
Oh, okay,
go.
what would mine be?
Long Dong Silver.
Long thong.
Long Dong.
A long dong.
Long Dong Silver.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Then I guess that would make Carl Bono Erectus.
Bono Erectus. Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'll be Bono Erectus.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you, Carl, is it easy to frame a guy for streaking if you know he goes by long dong? Is the mask enough?
Well, no one would believe me if my name was Long Dong Silver. If it was me running down the street,
Adam, would you rather have shoes made of Lego or a shirt made of kiwi?
When you say kiwi, is it the fruit or the bird?
It's up to you.
Oh, okay. I definitely would take a kiwi bird shirt.
Carl, what job doesn't exist but you wish you had?
See, what job doesn't exist?
Doesn't exist.
It's a hard one because I think it's pretty hard to figure out a job that doesn't exist.
Mhm.
Professional napper? I think that exists though.
Does it?
I'm pretty sure they
as a
pay
paid
people.
gig?
I'm pretty sure they like mattress tester. I bet you they
Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah.
probably
I see a theme though.
yeah, napping.
Just just like sleeping all day.
Sleeping
Adam,
and eating salads.
Adam, what would your safe word be?
What should I say? Keep going.
So confusing. Carl, same question.
Oh, probably Kansas.
Great, yeah. I like how it's probably Kansas. Yeah, it's probably Kansas.
Yeah. Probably.
Adam, what do you think you get the most compliments about?
What do that's assuming I get compliments.
Right.
It's usually my family. They're usually like, "You've got a really nice family." Like, thanks.
Like, what about me?
Yeah, they're like, the best thing about you, Adam, is your family.
Is
like,
okay. Everyone that shares your bloodline that's not you is aces.
They're great. We really like that. Oh man, your dad, he's the best.
Carl, what is something that you're terrible at, but you wish you could do better?
Terrible at? I'm terrible at so many things. I wish I could do better. Sleeping. I'm terrible at sleeping.
How are you gonna be a professional napper if you can't even sleep properly?
As I can't get the gig.
You ain't gonna get the job, dude.
Yeah, I have like really bad insomnia.
Oh.
No matter what, I keep waking up at 4 a.m. every day, and I can't stop myself.
Carl, what's keeping you up at night?
I have no idea.
These are deep issues.
Yeah.
Adam, would you rather eat a dick flavored cake or a cake flavored dick?
Probably a dick flavored cake.
Okay.
I think so.
Carl, what is the dumbest way you've ever injured yourself?
Let's see. I think I jumped off of a fence but it was like a really spiky fence. And then the back of my
barbed
sweater.
wire.
No. It was like it was in a school, but then like the fence was like giant spikes. And the back of my sweater got caught on it.
Like Acme school you're going to here. Like this
Yeah, and then
giant,
and then like tore like a giant hole in the back of my sweater, and then like swung around and like slammed my back, and I was like dangling off of like a really high,
oh my god,
like spike fence, and I was like dangling there, and then my brother was just pointing and laughing at me.
oh my god,
And I was like severely injured. My back was like hurting.
oh my god, dude.
Yeah, but that was pretty stupid. And yeah.
All right. Let's end it on this. I feel like the dream collaboration is you two both coming together, making this amazing game, forming this team. I feel like this is like the start of big things for you guys. Game kicks ass. If you could work with another not indie, just any game developer in general, who would that be? Let's go to Adam first.
Oh man,
who's like your dream collaboration?
I don't know. There's like so many. Since I've been doing this, I like. I think it would need to be another indie person, but like there's so many games that I'm like, wow, this guy is doing like some great stuff. I think that I'd like to work with the guy. I can't think of his name right now. And what's the name of the? I can't even think of the name of the game. Give me just a second. Hold on. I think it's like Iron Meat or something.
Oh my god. His name is like Ivan something. Like
Iron Meat guy.
Oh my god.
That guy's rad.
Talk about metal as fuck.
Yeah.
Holy shit. See, that's another road to you guys. And also a good note for you, Karl. If you want to bring back shitty fighting games and you know people that worked on said shitty fighting games, you can always go the successor route. It's the spiritual successor to this shitty fighting game.
Yeah.
With the same,
we're thinking
with the
about
same
that.
team. It's also an option. I'm telling you. Yeah. Telling you. And what's your dream collaboration?
Oh, definitely Kinetic Games, the makers of Phasmophobia. I think DK is a genius, and that game is amazing. The design is impeccable, and it has so much creativity like put into it, and it's so deep. But it doesn't show how deep it is initially until you start really delving into it. That game's amazing. One of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah, and I'm a huge horror fanatic, and like that kind of game isn't really my cup of tea. But when I played it, I was like, I hate myself for putting this off for so long. Like it made that much of an impression on me. Like I will never doubt a game again. When someone says play it, I will definitely check it out, because that game, it kind of like redefined what I thought like a horror experience could be. Like it really got to me. And it's again, and just the one guy. It's incredible.
Yeah. He hired, I think, 3 other people now.
Yeah. But you got to, because as the vision grows and the scope creeps.
Yeah, it's amazing now. They keep updating it, and genius design. One of the best games to come out recently, I think.
Been trying to get his ass on my show for quite some time. He's like, I can't.
He's kind of elusive.
Yeah. He's like, no.
I think CJ, the artist, he's very like outgoing. So
all right, good. I'll
get in contact with him.
I'll get him on the show. Well, guys, speaking of coming on the show, thank you for being on my show. This has been great. Oh my god,
it was fun.
It's been an hour. This has been amazing. Oh my god. Where can we find Dire Vengeance? Give us the whole social media spiel. Links, of course, will be in the description, but give us the whole rigmarole right now.
We're on it's on Steam, it's on Switch. We're on Twitter at MagicShotGames, and we're on Instagram at MagicShotGames also.
Awesome.
And I think that's about it. We're not that good at at promoting ourselves.
No, because people think you made a game. They don't give you money for a marketing budget. The game's done. But seriously, folks, this game is only $15 on Steam. Just go get it. It is like, I think, like I played on the Steam Deck, but it's the perfect handheld, like get it on your Switch kind of a game, pick up and go. It invokes all the old school goodness with some new school flair and mentality. Cannot recommend it enough. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This week. It's been a lot of fun. I'm gonna follow you guys. Like,
Sweet.
now it's like a hardcore fan situation because I'm gonna expect a fighting game to come out of your studio at some point. I'm gonna wait for it. It's gonna happen. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a blast. Everyone out there, go support this game. This is an awesome game made by awesome guys, clearly passionate developers who know video games. Check it out. Dire Vengeance. And as always, please be excellent to each other.